Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final countdown. Ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Okay, this is the final countdown. The show each and every month here on Peasant's Mind, where we count down the top 5 of whatever I feel like counting down that month. And this month, in honor of the finale of Goosebumps month, we are counting down the top 5 Goosebumps stories from across the franchise. Joining me is Chris the Ball.
Hello.
In his, I can't tell if that's a t-shirt off. Oh, it's a Superman shirt. Okay. You were playing with that. No, if you got a Goosebumps shirt on that I missed or something.
Oh no, I was just fixing it
Okay. Fair enough.
because it's obviously very baggy. So if I sit wrong, it's uncomfortable.
Okay. So yes, we're gonna count down our top 5 Goosebumps stories. These could be books. They could be episodes of the TV show. Could be the movie. Could be the game. Could be anything.
Yep. Just in case you, his audience, are too stupid to understand what across the franchise means.
It's the internet.
I know, but I like to think your audience of, I don't know, maybe one. I like to think that one would be at least a little more intelligent
Yeah.
than to go across the immediate franchise. What does that mean? Please tell us the short version and then drag it out. Like a video game tutorial that tells you how to jump after you've been jumping to get there. That's happened in a few games. I hate that. Where you have to jump upstairs to get there in the first place. And when you get up there, and it's like, now press X to jump. And you're like, I had to jump to get here. This isn't a tutorial. But yes, Goosebumps stories.
Indeed. And per the usual, so I end up at the end. You can go first with your number 5 ball.
My number 5 comes from the TV show. And it's a 2-part episode, but it counts as one because it's one story.
Yep.
Perfect School.
I don't think I know that one.
Basically, they get sent to an all-boys boarding school where the students get cloned and programmed into being well-behaved. And then basically the clones get sent back to the parents while the real students, for lack of a better term, just get locked away in the basement prison.
Ah.
Perfect School.
Okay,
And
then.
it was an adaptation from Even More Tales to give you goosebumps. So, but I just really liked what they did with the film. It's well with the episodes themselves. I thought they did a better job with the TV than they did with the book. Mainly because give you even more tales to give yourself goosebumps and normally, but like the books of really short stories.
Yeah.
So to drag that out for 2 episodes, there was a lot more added, and it was just cooler.
Cool. Yeah, I never read any of the More Tales to Give You Goosebumps ones.
Yep, Perfect School.
Fair enough. Alrighty. So my number 5, my mini cam. My number 5 is the Goosebumps movie. I really enjoyed this movie, and I thought it was a great story that incorporated all the monsters and made sense to to be scary enough for the Goosebumps world. But at the same time, not have to be focused on one individual story from the franchise. It was able to kind of encompass all of them, or at least a large quantity of them, and still make an entertaining story that is somewhat scary, but still family friendly. And I thought they did a really good job balancing everything and just making a great movie for Goosebumps fans. I like it. Yeah. So back to you, Mole, for number 4. You're still muted, Mole.
So the story, which is completely muted by today's standards, or it's completely dated, basically just by how we live today. But say cheese and die,
Ah.
because nowadays no one uses a camera to take that photo. They use phones, which means even if there was an evil one, it's not going to do much evil.
Yeah.
It just
Today
be
would be
sat there.
today would be selfie and die.
Yeah, but basically, I liked it with the big Polaroid, and it draws upon a lot of the fears that humanity had originally. Because when the camera came about, there was reports that Native Americans believed this, and some of the first, a lot of English speaking people believed it too, and stuff like that. Of if you took a photo of a camera, it captured your soul.
I've heard that.
Yeah, so it's cool that they took that, but they went a different way of it controls your soul and basically it shows you your destiny and it makes you die in that way. And I'm like, that's cool. And it was just a cool story. Stay, cheese, and die. I liked it.
Fair enough. Ignore me. And it had to have been good because it got 2 sequels. So there you go.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
Fair enough.
I put to you, the new Turtles film had a sequel.
That is true. All right. Coming next. My number 4, The Haunted Mask TV episode. This was actually the pilot premiere of the TV show, and I own this one on VHS tape somewhere over there in my closet. I thought this was really well done. From the actress that got to play Carly Beth, who was good as, just the innocent girl who stumbles into this, but also was able to did a good job portraying the monster when she had the mask on, to the creepy dude that owned the mask shop, who was an actor that recurred in a bunch of these episodes as the creepy dude. Um, the head of Carly Beth there, trying to imagine, believe in who you are to get the mask off and everything. I thought it was look at the mask. I think it was scary, but it was, it taught a lesson. You know, for a TV episode aimed at kids, it was good acting. It was just a really enjoyable episode. I like it.
Nice.
For those of you that don't know the Haunted Mask, the story is, of course, that Carly Beth here purchases that green mask at a Halloween shop in order to scare her friends, because she's always been considered the poor, mild, scareable Carly Beth, that she wants to scare them to show that she can do the same thing. But it's actually a face, and it becomes her face.
Yep.
She is now one face.
Yep. And she did have a choice between that or John Travolta or Nicolas Cage's face, but
Yes. I knew that joke was coming.
oh, you didn't.
But yeah, so Haunted Mask TV episode. It's a lot of fun. It's available. Check it out. Back to Ball.
This is number 3. I
Yep.
went with the movie.
Oh.
I like the movie. I thought it was a good story. It didn't feel like a Goosebumps story, but at the same time, it was a love note to them in a way that it's just nice. It didn't feel like Goosebumps. It had like no horror.
Yeah, it wasn't as scary. Yeah,
I say it didn't have any horror because the monsters in this were treated basically like the alien invaders from like Avengers or something, where you're not really horror. It's not really afraid of them. They're just there. Like some of the main Goosebumps monsters were just called like monster, like we covered in the review, like Monster 11 and stuff. And you're like, what the hell's this? Like they don't even have a name.
Yeah, that was dumb. They should
That's
have
how
at least
not scary they are.
That's true. They should have at least put their names in the credits. People could look and go, "Oh, I didn't see that one. Let me go back and find that one."
Yeah,
That would have made more sense.
It's like I said, I liked it. It was like it was like a family story. It's like I said, it wasn't horror. It was more Jumanji,
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
which I mentioned that in the last one, but I liked it.
It was good.
Over to Jim.
Okay, back over to me. So number 3, we're not going for number 3. Ah, yes, number 3 is One Day at HorrorLand. The book, because I have not seen the episode, but this was just a really fun story about a family who tries to go on a nice trip to a theme park for vacation, but end up in HorrorLand, a theme park run by creatures known as horrors, where they almost get killed on every ride, and the horrors try to keep them there forever. And it was just fun seeing them go on all the creepy, slowly realize how bad this place was, going on all the creepy horror rides and almost get killed this way and that way and trying to get away. And it was fun because it was variety in the ways they were trying to be killed all over the theme park and all kinds of fun stuff like that. I won't spoil the ending, but it's just a lot of fun. And it was so good that it inspired an entire spin-off branch of the series called Goosebumps HorrorLand. So that was pretty cool. There's all kinds of different adventures that all tied into or originated in HorrorLand, as I understand it. So, yeah, HorrorLand really good and a good central Goosebump to start on if you're looking for a place to start.
Nice.
Well,
My number 2, and there's no joke, my number 2 was One Day at HorrorLand.
ha, nice.
About the Morris family and their trip. Obviously, it's a HorrorLand. It's a HorrorLand. I gave it, unless I state otherwise, the only one I gave TV to was Perfect School. They're just books, except for the film, obviously.
Yeah.
Like this one, I gave it to the book for one reason over the TV show.
Okay.
Well, when it talks to you about stuff like the casket traveling down the river,
Yeah.
and it describes the rides, they're so much more awesome in your head.
That is true.
When I see them on the TV show, they're kind of not as bad as I imagined them. Oh. And I just with the picture it creates in your head, it's just so much more fantastic. And it's just cool to see them try to convince the parents that they all should leave, and just basically the parents are saying, "Oh, we've had similar problems," and they decide to confront the horrors, and it's just a great story.
Nice. All right, number 2 is the TV episode Stay Out of the Basement. I have not read the book of this one, unfortunately. But the episode was really fun. This is the story of some kids who noticed that their scientist father has been acting very strangely and spending a lot of time in the basement. And they noticed strange things about him, like he cut himself and was bleeding green, or had plants growing out of his head under his hat. And they realized he's actually a plant clone of their father, who was inadvertently created when their father spilled some of his blood into some plant experiment he was working on. And they have to try to find their father and rescue him and defeat the evil sentient plants. And I remember watching this episode, and this was, to me as a kid, this was really scary when I saw this episode. I'm like, no, he's a plant clone, don't do that. And then the creepy part at the end of the episode where the flowers talking like, no, I'm your father. No, I'm your father. Just, I always thought this one really creepy and scary, and I thought it was pretty well done. So I always really liked this episode.
Which also, fun fact for everyone, that is literally the origin of Angelina Jolie.
Ha!
Because if you watch her around the time of Tomb Raider, she didn't give a shit about adopting people and stuff, and suddenly she went away, then she came back, and now she's adopting all these foreign kids and caring. She's clearly an evil clone.
Not caring.
Kidding.
She's not caring for Brad Pitt. Not caring for Brad Pitt anymore.
Yeah, I'm kidding, but it's obvious that this film, well, that book took, and thing took its lead, or took its, I don't know what you'd call it, its cues from the Pod People.
Yeah,
classic horror.
That is also a great movie.
FYI, Jim is a pod person.
No, I'm not. It's a good try though.
It's a fact.
No.
Look it up.
Okay, let's go back over to Mole for his number 1.
I know one talk about taking cues from classic horrors. We all knew what it was going to be if you've listened to any of the others. It is Goosebumps the game. Okay, no. It's Night of the Living Dummy. Not over the top of me saying stuff.
Sorry,
I said it's Night of the
delay.
Living Dummy.
Yes, which I have not read any of those, but I approve of them.
You should do.
They're
the best ones. They're the ones
I know.
Read first.
Well, I know. That's why Slappy's the mascot of the franchise.
Well, one of them. But they do have multiple, like the HorrorLand mascots and stuff. But yeah,
Right.
Slappy's just wonderful. He's a dick trapped in the body of a ventriloquist dummy that looks like a dick.
Wait, is that literally his origin? He has the Chucky origin?
No, but he's alive. But he doesn't have the Chucky origin, but it's clearly based on Chucky. But
yeah,
Night of the Living Dummy spawned Night of the Living Dummy Part 2, Part 3, Bride, Son of the Living Dummy, I think was one of them.
Probably.
Because that was right around the time of Seed of Chucky. They had Son of Slappy, and he appears in the HorrorLand books. He's the main villain of both the terrible game and the awesome film. He was literally one of the main ones. I think he was the main villain on the Goosebumps live on stage that they did over here. He's like on the front of the book that was based on it, and it was a similar story if he was controlling the monsters and sending them out. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
But Slappy, he's wonderful, and Night of the Living Dummy, it all started with the first one. Is it the best of the series? I don't know, maybe two picked up a little, maybe two is a little better than one, but you kind of need one on the list, and so I had to go with one. It was just wonderful.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was surprised that
It
when he
beat.
controlled and sent out all the monsters, he didn't send out his evil robot mall security guard.
He didn't, but he did send out Poor Blood.
He did.
No, he didn't, but that'd be a whole other type of evil.
Yeah.
And unrelated, Paul Blart is a completely 100% different character to Zookeeper. Completely
Yeah.
different.
Completely.
And this is the part where Jim says his number one.
Indeed. And my number one, it was really only one choice for me.
If I can predict it, do I win money?
If you predict it, you win fictional money.
I'm not going to say. I know what it is.
What is it then?
Cuckoo Clock of Doom.
Very good, Mole. That's right. You know me. Boom.
It was literally one of the images you showed me before we began, and I knew which one was missing.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, no, let's just let you go.
But yes, it's the Cuckoo Clock of Doom. This was the first Goosebump I ever read. This is what introduced me to the series, and it's always kind of held a special place for me for that. I didn't think the TV episode was as good as the book for reasons that were mentioned earlier.
And to be fair, it's the first Goosebumps.
Fair enough.
You can't say first Goosebump when the book itself says Goosebumps,
Fair
and it's
enough.
a singular book.
Fair enough.
Have to be accurate on these.
Apparently. But this was the first Goosebumps book I ever read. And it's always got a special place for me. It introduced me to the series. It got me to read more of them. I still own my original copy of this that I got. It's in the closet over there in a box. And it's a great story of a kid who just kind of has kind of a sucky life. His little sister is a huge pain in the ass and just treats him like shit and won't leave him alone. She ruins everything in his life. You know, he gets beat up by bullies at school. He gets embarrassed in front of the girl that he has a crush on. Just, it kind of sucks for this kid. It's his 12th birthday, which is when this picks up. And the day after, his father brings home this cuckoo clock that he bought at an antique shop. And as he's playing around with it, he decides to try to frame his sister for playing with it to try to get her in trouble for once. But he discovers that when he turns the head of the cuckoo, it causes him to go back in time. Specifically, every day that he wakes up, he's further and further back in time, reliving days of his life and slowly de-aging. And so he has to figure out a way to get to the clock because before that day, it's not in his house. So he's trying to get back to the clock to try to reverse things and get back to the present day. And spoilers, in the process of doing so, as he evolves back to a tiny little infant kid and finally manages to do it, he also inadvertently knocks the year 1988, or if you read a later publication of the book, 1996, off of the clock. And when he gets back to present day, we find out that that was the year that his sister was born, so she doesn't exist anymore. Without her, his life is awesome. He had said he's going to go back and rescue her, but probably not. And that's cool. I mean, it's not cool to raise your siblings, but it's fun that this is one that ended where, yeah, something horrific changed, but it was actually for the better, which doesn't usually happen in these Goosebumps. You're muted, Mole.
I said it now brings up the paradox.
Yes. Because if she didn't exist, you wouldn't have any reason to go back and erase her.
Exactly. Thus, it's created the paradox. Unless it's a
Paradox.
terrible story and should be avoided.
Ha.
No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
Judgmental bastard.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Like I said, whenever you get time travel, there's always some sort of paradox.
Usually, yeah. But it's still a really fun book, and it's enjoyable to see him slowly de-aging, trying to, reliving days of his past, trying to make them better, but usually not succeeding. And it's just a really scary, but not overtly scary story. So it's scary that, oh, I'm going to get de-age out of existence, not scary because of a monster. So if you're one of those people who, it's kind of skewed to stories about monsters or, whatever else, this is one that is scary, but for other reasons. So it might be a little bit better for you. So yeah, really good. Check this out if you get a chance. I enjoyed this book greatly, and there's a TV episode. It's not as good, but it's still enjoyable. So if you get a chance, you can do that too.
Yep.
All right, and that was our top 5 Goosebumps stories. Thank you, Mo, for joining me,
You're welcome.
and thank you for joining me for the entirety of Goosebumps month this October. We hope all of you at home have enjoyed all of our Goosebumps-related videos. If you haven't seen the past ones, we have reviewed the book series and franchise in general. We did the television series. We did the Goosebumps game, and of course, this video that you just finished watching. So feel free to check all those out and hear our thoughts on all aspects of the Goosebumps world. Oh, and the movie. And
I believe next month there may be 2 countdowns.
Yes.
Sort of.
We are working on a potential...
countdown mixed with something else.
Yes, we're working on a potential Final Countdown spin-off. Details on that to be revealed once we work them out. So stay tuned for that.
Crossover.
Crossover. Fair enough. That's accurate.
Because it's both shows meeting for one.
It is. So there'll be an interesting crossover between this and another program. So stay tuned for that. It should be a heck of a lot of fun.
Yep. The Final Countdown. Sponsored by The View. That's not going to be its crossover?
No! Why?
Because just like The View, this show's hosted by a whiny elder woman. But with a smaller mustache than the people on The View.
I will accept that.
I'll accept that.
What did The View ever do to you?
It existed. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We have a show over here, same premise, called Loose Women. All they do on that
just sounds
show,
worse.
All they do on that show is bitch about, and it's the same on yours, about, oh, that's men's TV. Men's TV shouldn't be allowed. And you're like, you're hosting one literally to a sex demographic. Why isn't the other one allowed? It's annoying. I just hate seeing them sat around bitching.
Fair enough. Stay tuned for our review of The View.
Yep. But stay tuned for Countdown next month. The
Indeed.
Countdown. When it crosses over with Most Haunted Live. For the top 5 shadows that are suddenly inexplicably drawn in on the camera for dramatic effect.
Ha!
Mine's spoon falling over.
Wow. But yeah, stay tuned for next month's countdown. I haven't picked a topic yet, but it'll be something good. And our countdown crossover with another one of our programs. And we'll,
based on it being Thanksgiving, I assume, logically speaking, it should be the top 5 times a race has wiped another race out of existence, but we're supposed to think it's a good thing.
Yes.
That may be a mean joke.
The number one is that time. The number one is that time Jonathan Archer let that race die out from a disease in favor of the other race on that planet.
Yep. My number 1 would be the fact Alderaan was wiped out by the Death Star, but it's okay because Vader threw an old man down a shaft 2 films later.
Yep. At any rate, this has been the final countdown. We'll see you next month, folks. Peace.